Jay Saima, everyone. Welcome, welcome to our beloved companion. Oh my goodness, you guys are gonna love this one. It's like one of my favorite topics. And when I say my part, you'll definitely know why. You're gonna love this one, guys. And many of you I know just came from the other call with first let me check. Are the French hearing? Is the French translation working? Give us a thumbs up or
Est-ce
well,
que
you
la
can't.
traduction française fonctionne? Est-ce que vous pouvez...
We?
Oui,
See? No, that's Spanish.
oui, it's working.
We. Okay, good. All right. So I just love to scroll my screen and I invite each one of you to do that. Just see who's on the call. Those of you who are still in your pajamas, put your video on. Come on, let us see your faces. We don't care. We don't. Look at my hair. It's not good. Oh, it's just so joyous for me to see your faces. And for those of you who weren't on the call earlier, we had the call about the Magdalena light circles. So if you weren't on the call, the recording of that will come out, and you'll be able to get it. And I really invite you to participate in those circles where we'll get a list of people and create Magdalena circles to share the energy. And a team of students created, or disciples, not even students anymore, disciples, masters created this program for us all to be in. So I want to make sure you watch that recording. It just happened. So let's take a breath together. Placing your attention on your crown chakra, allowing the crown chakra to open even more. You allow these lights from the higher realms, the higher dimension, this light, this grace, this Shakti to pour through your brain. Allow it to move from the left hemisphere to the right hemisphere in a figure 8 pattern. You can just imagine it going back and forth, deep into the limbic regions, into the amygdala, hippocampus, all those regions that we learned about in our biohealing. Bringing your attention on your first eye between the eyebrows, activating that chakra. Your vision center. Let me see with the vision of the divine. Let me see the vision of my soul, why my soul chose to be here at this important time. With another breath, and bring this light into the throat. Again, it can move in a figure 8 pattern in the throat, balancing the throat, activating truth, honesty, integrity. With another breath, bring this light into your heart chakra and allow your heart to expand even more, activating love and compassion. And with another breath, bring this light to your third chakra, activating power, strength, courage. And with another breath, bring into your second chakra, activating your creativity, your sensuality. And then with another breath, bringing this light down to the base of your spine, your first chakra, activating trust, safety. Another breath, bring this light down your legs, out the soles of your feet, all the way down to the core, the crystalline core of Mother Earth. Find your footprints there that only you can fill. Smile to Gaia. Just smile being here. I'm here, fully present. Reporting for duty. Here I am. Here I am, Gaia. Divine Mother, Mary Magdalena. Saima, I'm here. I'm here to serve, to love, and to remember. Remember who I am, who I truly am. Now bringing your awareness as Gaia sends a pulsation of light up through the soles of your feet. It mixes and merges with the energy in your heart and expands. As we link our Magdalena grid, imagine your light connecting with the light of everyone on this grid. Each one of you important. Like acupuncture needles on planet Earth, each one of you is in an important space. Each one of you contributes to the whole, to the grid. And see, as this grid of Gaia lights up, the grid of Magdalenas, and we connect our light to the light of all Magdalenas around the globe, known and unknown to us. There's many Magdalenas on the planet right now. We're Saima's Magdalenas. We link it and activate it. Feel the strength in our community. Feel how strong this grid has become in the just 4 years we've been together. What we've accomplished. What we've established on this planet. What we together have anchored on the planet. And now with a deep, deep breath. Grateful heart, grateful we invoke the presence of beloved Saima, Mary Magdalena, and of Master Jesus to surround us, to empower us, to guide us. And so with another deep, deep breath, let's bring your awareness here, present, fully available. And open your eyes as you gaze at the other Magdalenas here. And we begin our discussion. I think we're on the fourth bow. No, excuse me, we're on the third bow, sorry, for of the beloved companion of Jesus' teachings to Mary about the path of ascension. I'm going to turn it over to Diane, and Elodie, we could put the slide up.
Welcome, everyone. And so we turn to our beloved companion reading for today. Then my master showed me the third great bough, which bears the fruit of honor and humility. Only when free of all duplicity and arrogance may you partake of its nourishment. And arrogance called to me, saying, "You are not worthy. Go back." But my soul was deaf to him, and so moved onward and upward into increasing light.
Next slide, Elodie.
Michael is your.
Oh, Michael's my slide guy. Okay. Sorry, Michael. All right. So this third great bow. And when we pass through it, we activate honor and humility. And we have to be free of duplicity and arrogance. So let's dive into that. Next slide, Michael. Arrogance. So I love this one because like this would be on my top 10 things I need to be free of in this lifetime. It could be my top 3 all in one. It goes a little bit with its friend, its twin, righteousness. Okay. So let's look at arrogance. So arrogance, when you think of arrogance, it's this energy of superiority. Okay. It's also just can be defined mistakenly sometimes as an exaggerated sense of worth. But that's where it really tricks you, because, and that's kind of an irony of it. It's an energy of exaggerated worth, but underneath the surface of that is that the person who's arrogant, also known, could be known as myself, what I might put out, that underneath it is this belief or fear that you're unworthy, like that you're not enough. Okay, so that's what's underneath it. So it's an intent to overcompensate for actually what is within you, the sense of unworthiness. But it's deep. The unworthiness is usually buried pretty deep. And arrogance, although it can look like, oh, she thinks she's so great, or she knows it all, or whatever, and the person with it definitely thinks they know it all. Okay, so it's really kind of a cool one to have, and it's not so obvious that this unworthiness is deep within you until something comes and triggers it. Okay, can I ask you not to post things in the chat because it distracts people from the energy? Okay, we'll tell you times when you can do it, but if people are looking there and trying to listen, and it's too much of a distraction, so hold off or just write them down and we'll share them later. Okay. So the voice of unworthiness is the rejection of the infinite and eternal light you are for the illusion of the temporary ego. I thought that was really a neat way of looking at. So because you don't accept your own worth, the arrogant person asserts an attitude of elevation above others and, of course, perfection, right? There's nothing for the person to learn. Their cup is full. I cannot tell you how many times Ma had said to me, "You think you know more than God." And personally, I had no idea what she was talking about in the beginning when she would say this to me all the time. But what Ma was saying is, because I already had the answer, or thought I had the answer, or knew what was best, that it's like the cup was already full and there was no room for anything else to enter in. The arrogant person is resistant to learning, and so therefore they're resistant to life. And it's perhaps the greatest obstacle to a person's growth, both spiritual and personal. I'm going to say that again. Arrogance is possibly the greatest obstacle to a person's growth, both spiritually and personally. So, because if you have all the answers, you not only won't seek out any new information, but when it comes your way, you disregard it. And some of the ways sometimes it can be like, if it's not my idea, I'm not going to do it. I won't even sometimes listen to somebody else's idea. Like if you find that people can't share things, new things with you, then arrogance is oftentimes at play. Okay. So as a result of the rejection of life's answers, arrogance is a path of extreme suffering. Okay. Okay, for those of us, if that wasn't enough, okay, for those of us on a spiritual path, arrogance ensures that one cannot obtain the highest of spiritual experiences, which is unity. Like, how can we be in unity when I think I'm better than you? It's like, doesn't make sense, right? Okay. If you see yourself above everyone else, you can't know unity with the whole of creation. The experience of unity is the experience of God, because God is in the whole. I thought this was a really interesting concept to think about. This experience of unity is the experience of God, because God is in the whole. If you believe yourself to be above someone else or some aspect of creation, you cannot connect with the whole of creation. Therefore, arrogance is the death of the spiritual path. How's that for a... So that's arrogance. So take a moment and just go within. Is there arrogance in me? Where won't I listen? Where won't I learn? Where do I think I know it all? In what type of situation? Maybe just take a moment, and we're going to dive more into this also, and look at arrogance. Okay. All right. Diane's going to talk about the other great one. Diane?
Duplicity. So duplicity and arrogance actually, although they express differently in the world, have a lot in common. So a duplicitous person is one who is contradictory in thought or behavior. This person acts in two different ways to two different people. Although the intent of the duplicitous person can be to deceive another, most frequently it's not. Most frequently, instead, its root comes from the same as does arrogance. The duplicitous person feels unworthy. And therefore, the duplicitous person attempts to just go along with whoever it is they happen to be speaking to in order to gain acceptance. So if you're in a place of duplicity, you will tell another what that person wishes to hear, as opposed to what you know to be the truth. So within duplicity is a betrayal.
Did we lose Diane? Yeah? Okay. All right. So I'll finish this till Diane, she must have frozen there, comes back. Okay. Within duplicity is a betrayal of yourself and the other. Instead of speaking the truth or taking action from an embodied, grounded place of knowing, the perception, belief, or opinion of the other that is not in alignment, it's substituted for their own truth. So you give your truth away. It's like a chameleon. You know, you lose power and you say whatever you think that person wants to hear. Okay. So Diane shared that when she was practicing law, they had a word for a duplicitous witness, and they called them pillow people, meaning that each person had the impression of the last person who sat on them. The witnesses would tell each lawyer exactly what they wanted to hear, and they were like chameleons. They were the most dangerous witnesses, she said.
I
Because
got it. Oh,
I'm telling them about your witnesses.
sorry, we have a storm here. The power went off.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Well, I'll just finish this and then you can expand on it. You said that if you don't recognize the energy in a witness, believing what they told you could sink your case. They could only be trusted to betray. Okay, Diane.
Yeah, it was a great lesson that I learned as a lawyer. I'm sure, as Mary told you, we called them pillow people. You could never trust that person because they were only going to tell you what you wanted to hear. That was it. And on a spiritual path, this lack of embodiment is a clear obstacle. You cannot know that which you are connected from. So the duplicitous person is not embodied. And as Her Holiness Saima teaches, you cannot achieve enlightenment without being fully embodied. When you're not embodied, you can't know yourself and you can't know anyone else. Therefore, you can't know God. The unembodied person merely blows in the wind of those around them. So when you say the opposite of what you feel, think, or know to be true, you hide yourself from the world. But ultimately, you hide yourself from you. Confusion is the fruit of duplicity. The deceit involved in duplicity is a deceit not only of others, but it's also a deceit of yourself. At the seat of duplicity is a failure to awaken to and value the light that you are, that it may be expressed in and through you in the world. So take a moment and really sit with that. Mary?
Okay. So I'm thinking let's put them, Michael's got them ready for groups. Okay. So Michael, can you go ahead 2 slides and give us the questions? I think at this point, let's really look at these questions in your group. So the first one will be, where do you inflate yourself? And where do you lower yourself? It's what Mom might call like a false humility. And the other question is, how did arrogance or duplicity serve you when you were a child? And are you ready to end your relationships with it? As we were preparing for this, I was sharing with Diane, for many of us, being one of the older ones in the family, you know, you come out with this energy of I'm always right, because you know you could read before the younger ones, you could tie your shoe before the other ones, you and then oftentimes you were responsible for the other ones. So this energy of being right and arrogance, think about how that might have served you as a kid when maybe you were really scared and wondering where your place was. And then the duplicitous one, you could think also about, could I talk straight in my family? Was honesty, or if I was mad about something, could I say it? Or did I learn how to manipulate my older siblings, maybe even my parents? How did it serve me as a child? So now we're going to put you in the groups. There's 4 to a group. We're going to give you 10 minutes, and we'll let you know halfway and when there's a minute left. All right. So welcome back. I welcome you back. And hopefully you become a little more aware of these energies that are holding you back from unity, from oneness, moving up. So the fruit, once we've transmuted the arrogance and the humility, right? No,
Right.
that's a duplicity. That's the word I'm thinking. I couldn't get that word. The honor and the duplicity, these 2 energies that keep us in separation and out of integrity with ourselves. So then we want to activate and bring to us this energy of honor. What is honor? And the word honor is defined as respect and esteem. But the root of the root of the word honor in both Latin and French stems from the word dignity. That's another good word, like dignity. Do I have dignity in me? Is it active in me? As we know, Ma has shared with us that we have every frequency in us. Some are just dormant. So it's dignity. Do I activate dignity within me and honor? Inherent in the word dignity is an inner sense of worthiness. You cannot honor that which you do not believe to be worthy, right? So honor is therefore an antidote to both arrogance and duplicity. It's an antidote for that. And honor is often used to describe like an award that somebody else gives you, or people honor you. Somebody bestows honor upon you, or all that. This is unfortunate that there's not a distinction that's made between the external and the internal. Others may respect you, but honor is a state that comes from within you. It is the sense of dignity, and there's a palatable power that comes with honor. Like when you honor yourself, you don't lie. When you honor yourself, you take care of the body. When you honor yourself, you take care of yourself. You're not a martyr, you're not playing games, you're not manipulating. When you honor yourself, you have honor for yourself. And if you really need an example of honor, you could look no further than John Lewis, who recently died in America, for those of you who don't know. He was able to stand in a place of honoring of himself and others without wavering. He knew who he was. And when you can do that, you have true power. That is true power. Now, in order to honor yourself, as Diane spoke about earlier, you must be embodied. You have to be in your body. You cannot honor that you're not connected with, or that you cannot see. So it contains elements of both embodiment and awareness for honor. If you have respect and esteem for yourself, this directly translates into treating others with respect, esteem, and dignity, which is why there's no place for arrogance in there, okay? Honoring is a real knowing of yourself. It's a way of being in the world that it propels action that's in alignment with the spiritual knowing. Pat Conroy defined honor as the presence of God in man. Honor of yourself and others is the pathway to unity and spiritual awakening. This honoring dignity, honoring of yourself. We honor ourselves by creating connections with those who honor us by being candid about what they see that we might be unaware of, or perhaps we have been able to address it. And it's for this reason that in Magdalena, we have accountability partners. So you give each other permission. Help me see what I can't see. If you think of the word someone's shadow, you can't see your shadow. Everybody else can see it, by the way, but you can't. And so a true accountability partner lovingly shares with you what they see to serve you. Okay? That's a real thing. But to be a good accountability partner, you can't be duplicitous. You can't just be saying what you think they want to hear, or not saying something because you think it's going to hurt their feelings. You have to be in dignity and honor yourself and be truthful and share truth. Okay. Oftentimes we think we're doing someone a favor by sharing with them and pointing out with them something you think they need to know. And this is where oftentimes you're playing the wrong role. It's not your role. You're not they've not asked you to be their accountability partner. Okay. That's not your role with the person. And I can tell you there's one thing that Ma had said that just sticks in my head a lot. And Ma said, just because I don't say doesn't mean I don't see. I'm going to say that again. Just because I don't say doesn't mean I don't see. So in other words, Ma sees what's happening, but she doesn't always say what's happening to you. It might be she sees something and there's not the contract with that person to say something to them. It might not be Ma's role. For us in the Magdalena program, it is Ma's role because we've asked Ma to play this role with us. Okay, but sometimes it may not be the right timing. And most often when we're lovingly sharing with somebody what we think they ought to know, it's really done out of judgment and arrogance. So to be really clear and very careful of how you share with others and who you have in your world as your accountability partner. Okay. I've heard Ma say and speak to me about, like, your partner, your husband, is not your accountability partner. Okay? He needs to be your lover. Play this role with him. Don't play the wrong role. Okay? So there's teachings in all of that. The other thing for me that I wanted to share is that years ago, this really served me in terms of honoring and trusting myself. You can tell I'm on vacation with my family. Okay, this really served me, and I really wanted to share it with you in this honoring part. I made a decision about 15 years ago, maybe 20 by now, 20 years ago, that I refuse to lie. I don't even tell white lies. Okay? It was just a commitment I made to myself. You know, the kids would want me to write them a note for school why they didn't have their homework or something. I said, I don't lie. I don't lie. I wouldn't do it. Even those little things. It really, really annoyed them. Okay? But I found that it was such an honor. I felt really good about myself that I wasn't going to be duplicitous. I wasn't going to tell two stories. I wasn't going to white lie it, spin it. I might not share something with you, or I might say, let me think about it, or I'm really not comfortable sharing that. But I wouldn't lie to you about something. It's just not something I do. And I can tell you that practice has really served me in terms of having integrity with myself and integrity with those who are around me. They know if I'm upset with something, I'll have a conversation with you about it. I won't be two-faced about it. And so I share that as something maybe you want to take on, play with it in terms of doing that. And Diane, let's go to the next topic here.
So the next frequency is humility. And oftentimes we might think of humility as freedom from pride or arrogance, common definition. Unfortunately, there's also a common definition in our society of humility that says it's having a modest opinion of oneself, or even a low view of one's importance. But this is not humility. This is what Her Holiness Saima would describe as false humility. When thought of in these common terms, there is a confusion between humility and humiliation. being humble is not about lowering oneself. It's about fully loving oneself for what is, just as it is in the human form. When one is humble, there is an awareness of one's humanness. There's also an acceptance, a compassion, and a love for those human aspects of our being. There is no rejection. There's no judgment of the human as unworthy, but instead a full acceptance and love for our beautiful human incarnation. So when you're humble, there's nothing to fix in you, and therefore there's nothing to fix in another or in this world. As the great psychologist Carl Rogers understood, paradoxically, change happens when you stop attempting to fix that which you judge as broken. How can you fix something that you're judging? Inside of that place of judgment, all you can do is bring dark to dark. There's no bringing of that light. Accepting with love instead of one's humanity, that's the pathway of the flowering of one's divinity. As a result of the lack of understanding of what humility is, there seems to be a bit of a drought with regards to this frequency. The way in which I would define humility is an awareness of compassion or love for one's humanity. One cannot love others without self-love. And that requires loving your human self. The humble one understands that the world is infinite. And while in these finite human bodies, our conscious minds cannot possibly have all of the answers. Therefore, the humble student is the student that actually excels. It's humility that creates that capacity, that ability to listen and to learn. Your cup is not full if you're humble. And it also creates a sense of awe and wonder at the vastness of God that just takes you to your knees. So when I think of humility, I think about its role, its requirement in order to experience unity. Humility does not entertain unworthiness. That is a rejection of divinity. Humility must be practiced to be embodied. There's an aspect of humility that requires an ever deepening of our inner awareness. So as you walk through the world, be aware of that which triggers you, because it's what you reject and what you push away, what you believe to be wrong, that will show you where you have yet to become aware of your own humility and to accept and love your humanness. So when you feel triggered as you're going through the world, not that there's anything to be triggered about these days, make a mental note of it. Take it to your meditation cushion and really allow yourself to see and to experience within your body that which you're rejecting. I've been doing this for a long time, and I can tell you without a doubt, anytime I'm really triggered in the world, if I sit with it, I always find out that I am actually the root of that. And so this is a process of dropping our resistance and really allowing ourselves to accept all that we're inside of as it is. So when we see angry and hateful people, and we feel ourselves become angry and hateful with them because they're angry and hateful, we stop for a minute and we recognize that this exists within us, within all of humanity. And only through that process, that humble process, can we bring light to the dark and compassion to the world in a loveless moment. This is the humility that serves as a foundation for the world's nonviolent movements throughout history. And this is why Sima teaches that you cannot change whatever it is that you get caught in judging. Mary?
Thank you, Diane. So let's all take a moment, close your eyes, go within. Look at the energy, bring up the energy of arrogance, duplicity. Pick one. You may notice, where does my body hold this arrogance, this duplicity? Where is it? My stomach, my chest, my head, my aura. Imagine you take this energy and you place it in front of you, in your hands. You could even place it in your hands in front of you. And we speak to humility. Speak to arrogance or duplicity. How it served you when you were a child. It served you not to get hurt. It served you not to feel the fear. How did it serve you as a child? And be so grateful that it came to you when you needed it. It wasn't easy being there. Thank it. Welcome it. Embrace it. Yes, there's arrogance in me. Or yes, there's duplicity in me. I don't tell the truth. I people please. You served me as a child. Thank you. And I invite you to say to it, today I end my relationship with you and I send you back to your source. And because nature abhors a vacuum, you want to activate humility, activate honor. What feels right for you that you can activate within yourself now? I activate honor. I activate humility. Pick one. And then see yourself taking an action, a new action that you're going to take this month. You can talk about it in your circles, your accountability partners, with your circles. This is the energy that I am choosing to activate within me. And see yourself. How would I act with this honor and dignity? What would I be saying? Who would I be speaking with or sitting with? And who might I end a relationship with? See yourself activating this new energy and taking an action with it. Now take a deep breath. This new energy getting larger and larger, amplified by your Magdalena frequencies that are so powerful within you right now. This power to create yourself anew in every moment. Take a breath and open your eyes as we move into the assignment for this month. And you will get all these slides. So next slide, Michael. To really look at what triggers me most in this world. Like really take that on, you know, really look at it. And what aspect of me, of my humanity am I resisting? And can I see the connection between what triggers me and my own sense of maybe arrogance or unworthiness or duplicity? What's triggering me? Again, Ma said the first step is awareness. The minute you're aware, we can do something about it. It can shift. If you suppress, it just gets bigger and bigger and will come up again and again and again if you haven't noticed that. Go for it. Really become aware. Work with your accountability partners. Work with your group. Next slide, Michael. Again, our sadhnas is saying 30 minutes a day as a disciple. You could do the beloved companion meditation or path of a Magdalena. And 3 times a day, activate the frequencies of honor and humility. Practice your invitation of Mary Magdalena in your hands and your heart 3 times a day. Keep working, keep activating these frequencies more and more and more. Notice how often you're inauthentic and then correct it. You know, sometimes in the beginning, it may mean you go back and say, you know, I wasn't clear with you on that, or I didn't know what, you know, I thought with a little bit more, or I sat with that a little bit more, and that was inauthentic for me. And change that. And the other thing is, you may want to take on that commitment of truth. Those are your activations. Diane, the last ones.
And so we'll end today with a couple of quotes. The first one comes from St. Augustine. Do you wish to rise? Begin by descending. You plan a tower that will pierce the clouds. Lay first the foundation of humility. And from Ma, your heart as the shrine of God is always to be kept pure with devotion and humility. Thank you all so very, very much for joining us here with this beloved companion program. We look forward to seeing you in 2 months. Much love to all of you. Om JJ Saima.
Om JJ Saima. Now you can write in the chat.
Om JJ
Saima. Thank you.
Thank you.
Om
JJ
Saima.
JJ Saima.
JJ Saima.
Love.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
JJ Saima.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Great program. Thank you.
JJ Saima.
Thank you.
JJ Saima.
Om JJ Saima.
JJ
JJ Saima. Thank you.
Oh, JJ Saima.